friends. I wanted to come on here quickly. Let me plug up my phone really quick before I get on here and start talking and then it goes dead. There we go. My husband and I were talking recently, and something came up, and I had some thoughts around it, so I wanted to kind of share with you guys, and just thought maybe somebody might need to hear this, and so here I am, right? Hope you guys had a great day and are having a good summer. We were talking about how in our area, and we live in a very rural area in Georgia, and we don't see a lot of, and you don't hear a lot on the news about overdose that much. Like in bigger cities, you hear a lot about it, but he had mentioned that he had heard on the news that there was a lot of people that were, dying from overdoses of different medications. There were some that were like laced with different things. It just kind of, I guess, got me thinking, and just kind of almost stirred up some emotion in me just as a pharmacist. So I wanted to kind of just hop on here and share my perspective. For many of you, you know that, if you know that a lot of you know that I'm a pharmacist, but you also know that I'm very passionate about natural health too. So I just wanted to share some thoughts on that, and just kind of, share some things that were on my heart, and hopefully somebody might need to hear it, right? So when I went to pharmacy school, because I wanted to help people, right? And that's why you go and you want to be in the medical field, because you feel like you're helping people. And, I think I've worked in a pharmacy ever since I was 16. Oh, and your connection stinks. I'm sorry. Sometimes Facebook, the connections are just not that good. It'll be saved on my profile though. So, when I went to pharmacy school, I wanted to serve people like anybody that gets in the medical field. And like I said, I worked in a pharmacy ever since I was 16. And I think back then, what I really did like about pharmacy is that, people would come in and they would have a need, and you would send them out the door with hopefully something that would fill that need, that would, take away their hurt or help them in some way. And I felt good about that. That is why I went to pharmacy school, and that's why I wanted to, kind of practice in that field. Well, as I went through pharmacy school and got out into practice, I very quickly realized that, yes, I was helping serve a need, and there are people out there that truly do need their medications. This is not really for those people. This is probably for the 90%, maybe even more than that, of medications that are abused. They, and from my perspective, it may not necessarily be, painkillers that are abused, which those are, there's 30 million prescriptions of opioids that are written every single, year in America, and probably, I would say, about 95% of those are abused. It's something that, as a pharmacist, I don't feel good now about giving out medications, because I know that A, they're probably being abused. B, if they really decided to really listen to their body and give it what it needs, most likely they would not need those medications. And I don't feel like I'm serving people in the best way anymore. That's exactly why I do what I do now. And it's because when I send somebody off with, some different thing to try, whether it's a recipe or some different cleaner to make to kind of decrease the toxic load in their home, whatever it is, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I'm helping those people. I'm helping them go towards a life that is going to serve them much better than if I were to fill their prescription and send them out the door with it. Like I said, definitely not talking about those people, obviously that need medications for legitimate things, not talking about that. But I do feel for those people that come in and, these prices are astronomical for what they pay for these prescriptions now. It's absolutely ridiculous. And to see them that they're actually like almost in tears because they can't afford their medication, but yet they feel like they can't live without it. And I'm having to bite my tongue because I know that in some way, shape, or form, they could either decrease their medication by helping support their body in a different way. They could maybe even get off their medication without, with just simply shifting some things in their life, or in some way changing and trying to listen to their body rather than always giving their power away. And what I mean by that is always running to the doctor, always asking somebody else's opinion, always trying to find other things to just fill that need rather than trying to listen to their own body and actually give it what it needs and then see the result. I truly feel like either people just don't know. They have done this for so long and they just trust the doctor so much. Not that you shouldn't trust your doctor, but you know your body better than anybody else. So if anybody tries to tell you something and you don't feel good about it, there's your sign, right? You can either ignore that or you can learn from that, and you can always be listening and just trying to follow what God is trying to tell you. That's what I believe. Whatever you're always going to feel good about it, or you're not going to feel that good about it. So you can either choose to follow whichever way you choose. But the fact is that there is a better way. God designed our bodies so that we can feed it with what it needs. And if we do that, you will see amazing things. You think that you can't live without your medication because it makes you feel a little bit better. If also I think people don't understand if they would just give that up to try something else, that they don't know how good the other thing could be, Ginger. Yes. I could sit here and talk about this all day long, and I didn't want to make this very long, but I did. It honestly breaks my heart because it's such a vicious cycle. I think people just do not understand how big the problem is now, and how much that it is. It's these drug companies that they tell the doctors to prescribe this, and then your insurance company will only pay for a certain medication. It's all it's just a big conspiracy. I mean, honestly, it is crazy. It's to see when I started pharmacy, I think people were probably on about 2 medications, maybe a piece. To see now, they're probably at least on 10. And it's just like, what happened? What happened in that time period of those 15 or 16 years? I'm not really sure. I really do think that it's money. A lot of it's money driven. A lot of it's that miseducation. They simply take the word that the doctor says and that's all. They don't really ever look and see if there's a different option. Like I said, it's a vicious cycle. So just wanted to hop on here and say, if you feel stuck, if you feel like there's no other way other than to continue to take the, however many medications you're on, continue to live the way you live, no matter if you're on medications or not. But a lot of people are, and they don't want to be, they hate it. If you truly hate something like that in your life, I encourage you to look elsewhere. Look and see what else you can do about it, because I promise there are other answers out there. You might not know them yet. You might not have discovered them yet, but don't give up. Don't feel like you have to stay stuck in whatever you're experiencing in anything, whether that's your health or your relationships or your mental state, your emotional state, whatever that is. There's always hope. I believe, it all starts with Jesus. It starts with God. I mean, He gave us everything that we need. He gave us the plants, and we can use those to nourish our body. He gave us His Word to read. All these things really make a difference when you think about living a complete life that He wants us to live. So I just want to encourage you, and I really do get it just really does break my heart, because like I said, I see people all the time and they just look hopeless. And I just want people to know that it's not hopeless. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit. I really do care about people, and I really do want them to know that there is a better way, and that I'll be glad to help you. I'm sure there's other people out there that feel the same way that I do, but I just simply feel like it's not talked about enough. And how many people are going to have to die, because they didn't know that there was any other way. So reach out to me, reach out to somebody else that you know that can help you with whatever you're struggling with, because we need each other. We need each other's help. I don't know everything about everything. If I had a need that I saw, one of my other friends had a lot of knowledge in, of course I would go to them. So I just would encourage you to just know that there's different options, to know that there's hope. There's hope for, a better tomorrow for you, for your family. I didn't even mention this, but the number one group of people that are addicted to medications are young adults. But the second group is children. Speechless, right? You know, I mean, what are we doing to our kids? I know for me, I want to teach my kids that they need to listen to their body, that they don't need to necessarily, always take the opinion of somebody else. They need to, oh, my stomach hurts. Let me go, find some natural remedy for that. Let me eat nourishing foods. Let me rest, not necessarily always just go to the next thing. We've got to start listening to our bodies. And if we don't tell our kids to do that, if we simply model whatever behavior for them whatever behavior that we model for them, that's what they're always going to do. That's kind of, it's just the pattern, and it's up to us to break it, honestly. So I would encourage you as a parent to really think about that. Some parents, they think, oh, I'm just going to treat myself however I want to, but don't really care about, I would treat my body however, but obviously you want better for your kids, right? A lot of moms feel that way, which I don't necessarily agree with. I believe that we should take care of ourselves too, and it's not all about our kids. But just think about what you're trying to teach your kids. You want to instill good values in them. You want to instill all these things, but what are you showing them through your actions? Do you tell them that, we eat fruits and vegetables because they nourish our body, and so they help it, kind of perform the way it should, and all these things. I always try to tell my kids, my kids eat stuff that they shouldn't, all the time, honestly. It's hard as a mom to know that, obviously we know what's good for them, but they're kids and they go to different things, and I'm not going to keep them from those things just because I believe something. But when I tell her or him, fruits and vegetables are good for you, but this is why. Those things are not necessarily good for you, and here's why. I don't always want to tell them, you just don't do that simply because I said so. I want them to know why not to do it. So just some thoughts to think about. This is really one of my soapboxes. This is why, honestly, it made me want to go out and search out a different way for myself, learn about it, and then show everybody, help other people. That's exactly what I do. I would never, I don't preach anything that I don't practice. So, you have to be a student yourself before you can share with other people. So just thoughts I had. Hopefully somebody needed to hear this. I hope that if you did, you will reach out, you will realize that there's a different way, and you will start exploring that. Just know that just like with anything, it's going to take consistency. You can't eat good one day and try to eat good maybe one day a week and then eat whatever else you want 6 days a week. It just doesn't work like that. It has to be consistent. It has to be day in and day out, and that's really how you get true results. So good to be with you guys tonight. Hopefully, like I said, somebody on here needed to hear it. Anyway, that's it. See you guys later. Have a good one.